Welcome to another episode of the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast. Almost on time this Sunday, 7:05. It's my fault this week. Tyler, April 25th, we're recording this. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Time's flying. It's
It
already
is
April, almost May.
unbelievable. I got to say, I'm a little excited this morning. I'm excited for the podcast this morning.
Two guests.
Two guests, two special guests, two best friends, two
Special
of my
ed or
best friends that
special?
go back a long time to high school. So looking forward to having them on. Adam is going to be on a little bit later to talk Warriors, NBA, some other things probably as well. And then Brian
Who
will
was
come in
it?
his
Who
final
was
month.
Adam's basketball comparison you gave him?
Oh, we should get into that as well. Morris Peterson, and lefty,
Low Pete?
fellow lefty, but
The Flint brother.
a flip brother. Yeah, he always remembers that as well. But I always feel like he was an NBA player. I forget the one I gave for Casey too. I bet Adam will remember that one. We'll have to bring it up. But anyways, I'm
Rhea?
excited about the podcast for that. Especially just because kind of was the whole point of this podcast, right? Like, just to kind of remind people the reason me and you and Casey and who's going to start coming on again. Well, is we did this is just because we like sports, we usually check in with them every week. I'm involved in coaching. You've done it before and look other things. We play a lot of different sports, and we just kind of want to give our views and our personalities and how we see it and how we talk about it. So the more we can have like some of our friends on and more guests, like it just gives us to talk sports and conversation.
Make it a little more personal for the
personal
viewers. And
let's be honest, that's why I like sports, is because you can just talk about it at any point, anywhere. Like anybody has a little knowledge of it. It's fun to, and I like doing a little, not trash talking, but it's fun to like little digs with your sports teams here or there. And like, if you got a team, your friend's team struggling or something like that, it's fun to give a little dig when you need to, or, just things like that kind of make it.
Absolutely.
So that's our goal with the show. And hopefully today, we can kind of show that with some of our friends on here as well. So with that said, though, let's get into my week is overall real quick. I just wanted to let you know I finally went to two high school basketball games this week, which was kind of cool. I went with Casey yesterday and my son Xavier, and I went the other day to the Windsor games. It was kind of fun, just kind of being back in a gym. You know what I mean? Just kind of see like sports again in a team.
Being in a crowd.
It's a little different. We're spread out big time, obviously, and I have to because I know somebody on the team, I have to let them know I'm coming because you can only have a certain amount of guests. I think it's like 4 or something like that they allow here. So it's a little different, obviously, for sure. There's no like food or anything like that. There's no student crowds. So it's a lot quieter. But it was kind of fun going to those games a little bit, especially with Casey and Xavier.
No students can attend the game.
Well, it's not like, I didn't notice anything like it was like that. They could probably go if they had like a friend on the team, but usually 4 people, that's like mostly your family.
Yeah, it's tough to,
if you have,
that's rough. That makes it weird.
It was a little different, but it was fun to kind of just be back in the sporting world there a little bit. We also had some really other crazy things go on this week. We had a conviction there, or the guilty verdict there. That was a big thing in the world this week. So that kind of comes to an end with that thing. I know there's still.
I don't think it comes to an end, but that little.
No, but that trial comes to an end at least.
Yeah.
My point there. So, man, policing would be hard these nowadays, right? Like, it's just I think
it's always been hard.
Yeah, it's just because like as many good things as you do, right? You make that mistake, and this guy's out of the question. This guy, I'm not really counting. This guy was dumb. That was you're on somebody's neck for that long. You deserve. You know what I mean? That's just. I'm not talking about that part of it. I'm just talking about the job overall. Like the guy like me or you that works and goes to the job. It's a tough one, and so I just kind of wanted to shout those guys out in the midst of some of the bad
good ones,
the bad policing that's going on as well here as well, because
it's too much of it.
Well, and they're just killing too many black people, and that's the reality of it. So
the one thing I just don't like about it is the police who are too scared to like be like, this guy was a bad police. Like they always have each other's back, it seems, even if they did something wrong. Just kind of weird.
Yeah, you like.
It's obviously like a brotherhood they're in with, but it's just not right.
Yeah, but you don't want. That's not where you have like that. What do you call that? That next step. I forget the word. It starts with a T.
Camaraderie.
No, it just. I can't think of it right now, but where they basically are progressing from, moving forward with it. And they're not when you're always on the same team, not always a yes man towards each other. So anyways, those are just a few things I noticed this week. That's not sports wise, but they're pretty serious. And just with my grandfather being a police officer and just, knowing, people of color as well, my wife, being Mexican, there's, you just think about all the challenges of that part of society and just, so just kind of pray for all the people involved.
Your kids.
For sure. But let's get back to the real, as you like to say, the meat and potatoes of the podcast here. Let's, I was going to start with some of the storylines I thought from my side of the Fatboy FadeAway world is I got to start with my Oakland A's, man. 13.
You were ripping on them 2 weeks ago.
Well, how could I not? How could I not? 0-6 being outscored 50-6. You're gonna get a good ripping on that Sunday podcast after you start out with that type of performance.
Yeah.
But since then, let me give you some good stats. They won 13 in a row, third best in team history. Only the 20-game winning streak. They won 14 in a row in 1988 as well. So they're just off to. I mean, they got a magical win against the Twins. That's the reason it's still going. Minaya and Luzardo the other day threw 12 1/3 of no hit ball, so their pitching's starting to pick up, like we said. Matt Olson's on absolute fire, batting .328 with 6 homers. And I think has over 400 OPS.
How many homers did you say?
6, I believe. I think he's got 6 and 17 RBIs or something like that. And the thing I'm noticing is they're cutting down on their Ks with runners in scoring position early on. Like even against the Twins, I mean, yeah, those were errors, but I mean, it's better than a strikeout, right? And I guess that's the end of the
absolutely.
day. So I'm not saying that's a great thing that you're grounding out to third or second, but it's at least in tight games, you got to make the defenders make plays. So that's the whole point of it. So it was good to see them playing well. I also, just a couple other things from my point, I saw baseball wise, Bieber and Cole pitching yesterday. That was pretty awesome. I only have it on radio, but it sounded pretty awesome. By watching it, no walks really. Bieber,
great game.
His changeup, Tyler, is just nasty. We have a few people that listen to our podcast that aren't sure about who their favorite players are. Cole, Bieber, DeGrom. You watch those 3 guys pitch one day, you'll be highly entertained.
Speaking of DeGrom struck out like 50 of the 101 batters he's faced so far this year or something.
Really? Oh my! So
something crazy, some crazy stat. Yeah.
Well, he struck out career high 15 the other day on 2 hits, and he threw on 101 miles per hour.
Yeah, he's special. He's a league of his own when it comes to those.
Is he the new Kershaw of this era? Like he's the dominant pitcher, basically.
Yeah.
Better than Cole, even.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
I think their numbers just say he's way better. Like Cole had 1 year. DeGrom has done it like 4 years in a row where he's just.
And Cole has a consistency to him now at this point where like almost every outing he's starting.
DeGrom or Cole?
Cole, or excuse me, DeGrom. He's almost consistent every time out. There was also a couple other things I noticed this week. Yesterday, Padres, Tatis Jr., 2 home runs.
I love that.
And then a home run the other night. They're doing the little bit more.
2 off Kershaw too.
And then he's doing the little McGregor after the homer to mock Bauer. It's a good rivalry, and the Giants are kind of right in the middle of it too. So
did you see Tatis cover his eye because I guess Bauer throws with like 1 eye or something? Like he was doing that in spring training.
Is that what he meant? Okay.
Yeah, and Bauer afterwards, which I really respected about him, he's like, "Yeah, I loved it. Let's have fun."
Yeah, that's
good. He's like, "I don't care. Like whatever." He hit a home run off me. I'm more pissed about that than the stupid celebrate. Like.
Yeah, exactly. So when I hit you,
and I respected
it. Next at don't worry about it. No,
no, his words would have been empty.
Hey, I just wanted to quickly give you my 3 favorite players in the MLB right now, just young players: Tatis Jr., Soto, and Acuna Jr. Those are like to be the 3 best young hitters in the league. There's no doubt about it. So, anyways, those are just kind of some of the things I noticed this week. Sports world, I'm a big baseball guy, so I wanted to kind of bring our fans some of the baseball facts this week. Also, pissed off about Jesse Winkler. People that know Jesse Winkler, you're a hardcore baseball fan. I'm also pissed about that. I wanted to tweet your cousin when somebody dropped somebody in our fantasy league and he picked him back up. And then I was like, hey, I accidentally dropped Jesse Winkler, but I didn't ask for him. Because he gave him back. It's only been 6 weeks later. So, Tyler, what's going up? What did you notice this week?
In baseball or just sports?
No, just sports overall this week. What was your storyline?
The Super League. Have you heard about it, obviously, in Europe?
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know much about it, so tell me about it.
It was basically if you compare it to the NCAA, you're taking the Alabamas, the Floridas, the USCs, and you're the teams that generate money for your conference.
Yeah.
How rude.
Sorry.
The teams that generate money for your conference. and then you cut out the shit, like the Dortmunds, the West Hams, in soccer, and then it'd be like Vanderbilt.
The teams that you pay for, basically.
Yeah, the teams that are bringing in money, and they're trying to get rid of these teams that don't bring in any money, that are just sort of leeching off of these big clubs, and the big clubs are all going in debt, basically. They're all going broke. So they're trying to make this super league that just involves these teams. So all this rabbit, and eventually I think some of these teams would become the bottom feeders.
Yeah.
Of this super league.
Of the super league, yeah.
Yeah, like the Arsenals might turn into the West Hams or crappy teams.
Yeah.
But I just love it as an American because I don't want to watch the Dortmund. I don't have a fan. I want to watch good teams.
So you kind of want the Super League? Then.
I want it. I think it'd be great as an American.
Why did it fail then?
Because European soccer, like the English teams, all boycotted it, and they were blocking entrances for team buses because they all have fan bases. They're just not large, like all these teams. But in England, how many people are in England? 6 million, 10 million? No, 6 million people in London. So probably like 10 million or something, 15 million.
Oh, so just to give our guests a little bit clearer picture of what you're talking about, like basically you had teams from Spain, from Germany,
France yet, but
or from Europe,
Italy.
Well, I thought there was talk of PSG too, but anyways.
Yeah, but they hadn't accepted or anything.
Different countries joining a league to be able to have their own league called the Super League. It failed the other week because I believe Chelsea was the first team to pull out. Was it somebody else?
Chelsea or Liverpool? No, not Liverpool.
I didn't realize Chelsea until I read an article last week that's like the upper class city of England. I didn't realize that's considered the.
It's in.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Or like
who was the guy that I was going to ask you that was behind this? Was this the Real Madrid president? No?
Yeah, the Real Madrid owner, or he owns 51% of it, like Perez or something. I think the good thing is like the NCAA, you get rid of NCAA or you get rid of FIFA. FIFA is corrupt as shit. They have this guy who has taken bribes from Russia, Qatar. Why the hell is there a World Cup in Qatar? There is no reason. It's 130 degrees. Some people call it Qatar.
Oh, okay.
130 degrees in the summer. They're having to change, they're having mandatory water breaks at certain points.
They basically have slaves working there. I've seen some of their documentaries.
Yes, and that can't be good for the environment. They're trying to blow fake clouds to block the sun to cool it down a little bit. It's just wild. So you get rid of that aspect. But then FIFA came out and said, okay, if you're in the Super League, you can't play at our FIFA sanctioned events. So that's what slowed it down also. So these European players couldn't play in the Euros or the World Cup. And
I got you. And those are what everybody wants to play in.
Yeah.
So what happens now? Do these teams just go back to normal? Do they retry it? You think it's down the road? Because you even had these people like John Henry, the owner of the Red Sox, come out.
Yeah, there's a lot of American owners that are.
Yeah, but he issued this really weird apology. I'm very sorry for trying, something like that. We never would want to offend our fan base. And then I saw Bill Simmons send out a tweet. I hope he sends out a video for trading Mookie Betts.
Yeah. Anyone who's traded Mookie Betts for Verdugo, you can't trust them.
Yeah, to get an apology. So
me being in the podcast world, I saw this as if you could make a super conference in NCAA basketball, and you're getting rid of NCAA, and you get to pick the 12 best teams in your eyes, and any way you can look at it, you could factor in academic, however you want to do it. What would your super conference look like in college basketball?
Well, I just did it for basketball, but you can tell me I got North Carolina, Kansas, Duke. Those are obvious. UCLA is obvious. I also got Kentucky. That's another obvious one. So I feel like those are the five.
The Blue Bloods.
I feel like those are the automatics. And I think the other automatic is Michigan State. I think they're an automatic team when it comes to college basketball. I also threw Texas in there. I feel like they're an automatic. Their school's huge. And then this is where maybe you kind of disagree a little bit. I go Villanova. I feel like they're also in there. I feel Arizona's in there. And I
I
also
like that
feel
choice.
Ohio State's in there for sure. That's pretty obvious. And then the two that maybe you don't agree with, I'm thinking, is Louisville. I took, and
No,
I took Gonzaga. I feel like they're the new dominant team. So
I
I'm gonna
mean,
put
you
them
need
in
a
my top.
team in the Pacific Northwest. So yeah, I'd agree with that. You have a lot of. I don't know about Villanova. I think that's a recency bias thing. I don't know if they have
I
this.
mean, if
I
you look
mean,
at their history too, they're like one of the 10 most accomplished programs.
is it? That
Yeah.
sounds crazy. I don't. That's hard to believe, but I believe you. I guess. So I did football. I had.
Because they were bad when you were like from 10 to like 22. So they weren't good in your like prime of watching college basketball.
Well, they've only been good since they had Jay Wright. In my opinion.
That's true. Hey, I did one for basketball. Can I tell you what I did for the NBA real quick?
Yeah.
All right, so I only did 10 teams because the other ones I just couldn't do more than 10. I couldn't put the Pacers in from Indiana or so. I got Lakers, Celtics, Sixers, Bulls, Miami, New York, Warriors, Dallas, Clippers, Portland. Could you imagine if those teams went off and did it? Those are like the only teams people watch anymore.
Who was the? Do you have Brooklyn in there?
I didn't put Brooklyn in because I feel like they're just too. I don't like Brooklyn.
Who do you have again? I didn't hear that. The Warriors, Lakers.
Warriors, Lakers, Dallas, Clippers, Portland. That's the West teams. And then I got Celtics, Sixers, Bulls, Miami, New York. So that would be my Super League. Could you imagine if you had those? Like, okay, can I go back to the soccer part real quick with you? I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What would they? Do you think they would have ever asked like an MLS team to join because it's an
Oh,
American?
I think eventually, once it became a bigger league, like I think they wanted to turn this into the NBA. The problem, these American owners that own these European soccer teams, they're so rich and there's such a like. If you don't finish in the top four, you don't make Champions League, which means you don't get that big payday at the end of the year. That's like $80 million that helps pay for these transfers. So
is that the
Liverpool's not going to
equivalent
make.
of like a U.S. team not making the playoffs or something?
I don't think
Missing
there is
out
an
on
equivalency to the U.S. because
not on that much money.
yeah, there's not like this other league you like. There are
You have
like
your
other
TV revenue at the
tournament.
beginning. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you get that's the weird thing about that Super League too. The European League, it's
the relegation.
I've always been impressed that they're able to have a Champions League because I mean we barely can get like these like boxing matches together in the US. Like it's hard for me to like it's that they're able to like get all these different leagues to come together on these certain days. So I've always thought it was pretty impressive they've been able to do it for all these years. But anyways,
Yeah,
what team were you going to do the Super League for?
for football.
Yeah, that was the one I wanted to hear you say. You did. Let me hear that one.
My 12 teams for football. Now, I think the easy ones are Alabama, Notre Dame, Texas, Ohio State.
Yeah, automatic.
4 teams generating tons of money.
Well, there's another team you left off that's an automatic.
I have a bunch. Don't worry. Not in USC.
Yes, that's the other one. That's an automatic too.
Yeah, I mean they're a little. I don't
That's
know.
just because they
have
suck
UCLA
now.
next to it. Yeah, exactly. And then so I have those top 5, and then I go Florida, Penn State, Clemson, Michigan, Oklahoma, LSU, and then it was between Oregon or Florida State. I went Oregon because I already have a team in Florida. I need to spread my fan base, and I went Oregon.
Oregon's not a bad one over there. What's your you have Ohio State or not Ohio State? You have Wisconsin on there?
No, Wisconsin.
No, Wisconsin. There you go.
I don't want Middle America.
Middle. Anyways, this whole thing to that Super League, I thought was just kind of a funny story this weekend. You had people in England really pissed about it, protesting smoke bombs involved. I mean, you had some really
blocking buses and
my gosh, you had some intensity over there. And if I encourage people, me and you watch soccer much more than me. I think I used to watch when Derek was.
You used to watch it a ton every weekend. You're like, did you watch this game? I was like, no, not watching Sheffield United.
Well, that's because Derek was like, let's see, I can tell you exactly the reason why. I was living at my parents that first year. Derek was bored, right? With all that, I would wake up. Derek would get up early. I could watch the games easily on TV. And I really loved the Liverpool team that year that had Suarez. Like they were just so much fun to watch. I really liked
Suarez and Sturridge.
I fell in love with that team. That was like the one team I really like. Just and then we played FIFA a lot that year too.
We did play. I still play FIFA.
That helped me.
I still watch soccer a little bit.
So, anyways, interesting thoughts on the Super League. Thanks for kind of your thoughts on it there. It'll be interesting to see what they do long term with that going forward. All right, we're gonna.
Yeah, right now it looks like all the English teams have said we're not doing it. So it looks like it's going to take a year or two to get to I think it'll be started back up again.
I don't know. It seemed like it seemed like the fans were pretty passionate about it. I don't see it happening.
They were offered $3.5 billion to join the league. I think the owners will be able to take the fan hit.
I don't see it happening. But
We'll
see.
see.
We'll see what happens. All right. Well, we'll get Adam on here. We're gonna get into the NBA a little bit. We're gonna get into the Warriors with them. We're gonna get into recent or past Warriors. Right. That's some of his greatest strengths, and we'll kind of get maybe some of his topics on the recent NBA as well.
If you're interested in Bimbo Coles, stay tuned.
Day two. Playing Fontigo. All right, we'll be back. All right, we're back on the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast. As you can see, we have a special guest with us here, Adam Darwish over there. One of my good friends. Adam, we've been friends for like over 20 years now. You played basketball all the way back to like sophomore year, I want to say, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so Pete.
Mo Pete. That was the comparison back in the day I had. Hey, he's an NBA player.
What is NBA that?
Hey, what? I couldn't figure out what I call it when I compared to.
I mean, there had to be someone a little better than Mo Pete.
That's true. I could have gone with maybe like a better lefty at that point. There.
This is what Adam looked like when I met him.
That's about 2005. I don't know.
And Tyler probably looked like Steve Nash with his long hair and his little.
Oh yeah.
Back there. But anyways, Adam's gonna be on. Good friend of mine. And also we would back in the day used to piss off another good friend of ours, Brian, for talking
all the time.
And so you're one of the people I enjoyed talking to Warriors with, even enough where I would write slips in my what was that called at my homeroom class in Korea, because I had the same. I had some science teacher, and I would say I'm going over there to get help, and I would just go sit with you and Devin and other people. We would just talk Warriors and piss off Devin the whole time.
The whole time, because he didn't care. He didn't know we were talking Devin. About.
I remember one day you're like, it was so great. You're like, I don't think Devin likes us talking about the basketball all the time. I was like, probably not.
No, he hated it.
The best part about that class too is I remember, I think it was you got the teacher to turn on the Big East conference during during championship week. That was great.
That teacher was some crazy Russian scientist. He didn't care what was going on.
That's true. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah. He was making plans to do who knows what with what's his name? With Alex, what's it, Stamroff?
Yeah, they're both spies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were. Yeah, so who knows?
So anyways, as you can tell, me and Adam, we can easily talk basketball for hours, and so that's what we played here for a little bit. I had you on specifically because I know you watch. You're like me, you're a diehard Warriors fan. We used to watch like every game. I mean, like from minute to end. Like even if they were down 25, we would be able to talk about the last like 30 seconds of the game, basically.
Hey, that's what real fans do.
It is, and we can analyze Bob Fitzgerald to the wazoo if we want to.
That Homer Bob Fitzgerald, but yeah,
So, what's your thoughts so far on the Warriors so far this season? We'll get into some more stuff early. We'll get into the past Warriors in here, but I kind of want to get your thoughts on the Warriors this year and kind of, I don't know, just get your general thoughts on them.
Yeah, I don't know. They're so hard to figure out. They're just inconsistent, but that was to be expected when Clay went down and everything, and. But
30, so that's the mediocre to the court.
Yeah, and then we got Draymond Green, who is not important according to Tyler. Sucks apparently.
I didn't say he's not important. He's very important. He just sucks, so he's not good.
He's averaging though, Tyler, 8.7 assists. That is 5th overall in the league. To Adam's credit on that one there.
I mean, he has Steph Curry. How hard can it be to get an assist?
Yeah, that's true. But when he's not on the court, Steph Curry is not going to be averaging 30 points.
That is true as well.
I disagree.
What?
Who's going to really? I mean, who's going to get Curry the ball?
Himself. He's the point guard.
Yes, he's the point guard, but when he has 3 guys on him, it's hard for him to create his own shot. And actually,
I agree. Draymond Green is a good Steph gets doubled at the half court line. He dumps it to Draymond, then he runs around 100 screens and hits a three. That's like the best play.
And Green knows where he's gonna be. The other guys are bums.
I think I could figure out
not figured it out
by watching him run. I don't think it's a hard job, Draymond Green.
It's
I
not
think
a
it's
hard
very
job,
easy.
but have they figured it out? Because when Green's not on the court,
They're
Curry,
worse when
I don't know what
when
his
he's not
averages
there.
are, but when Green's not on the court, Curry's offensive numbers go way down.
I mean, I don't know if that's true, but if it is, for what he's getting paid and what he's producing, he's not even a good defender anymore, really. Like,
See, I
Doesn't
disagree.
it sound
with that.
personal
if
with
Jason Tatum's
Adam?
scoring
Doesn't it sound personal with
43 on
Tyler a
you
That's
little
not
bit?
24
personal. What did
shots.
Draymond Green do to you?
he's not good anymore.
What do you mean?
He kicked LeBron in the balls, and that was the end of his career.
Oh, so that's what it was. Okay, we're gonna
Yeah.
go back to 4 years ago.
No. Now it's this year. We'll go this year.
Tyler, if I can
He
speak to
averages
you for a
4
sec.
points a game. How good can you be averaging 4 points a game?
But you can't just look at that. You have to look at the assist.
Every
the
other player we
rebound.
look at it.
The
He still
defense.
leads the defense. He talks. No one else on the team talks. No one does anything.
Well, it sounds like we have a bunch of more terrible players than
We do.
okay, so he's okay. We have a bunch. He's okay. I'll give you he's okay. I'm not
But
gonna.
you'd have to admit, Tyler, they're better with Clay comes back. They're in a better chance with him on the court.
Of course they are. They won a championship when
Well, yeah, they're better
three were
with
on
him
the team.
on the floor, but that doesn't mean he's good. They're
Look,
better when Jordan
Okay.
Poole's on the floor. They're not good. He's not good.
I like Jordan Poole. He's helped.
I do too. I like him a lot actually, but I don't think he's like a good. I'm saying good as in like an almost all-star.
I know. Okay, but let's not sit here and say Draymond Green sucks because he does not suck. He's just
Okay, he's not. He's okay.
his
I'll go with
okay.
he's okay.
His offense, yes, it does
Sucks.
suck. You know,
He had Marcus Smart 8 feet from the hoop,
I
and he
saw
got a
it.
3 in the key. Pathetic. That is. He didn't even look.
Well, he
defiant.
was waiting for Curry to stop running around and get open.
Well, stop wearing your Depends and do something yourself.
I mean, he's starting to shoot those little free throws a little more now.
Finally,
Shooting 45%,
that's what he needs to
Well,
start doing, though, right?
which isn't bad.
Hold
Yeah,
on one sec. Hold on one
I
sec.
think if he just shot more, he'd be better.
Hold on, T. Hold on. That's the one thing with Green, though. We discussed this. If he at least hits an elbow jumper, you're at least. I mean, just take
or at
two
least
a game.
attempts it.
Yeah, exactly. Take like 2 a game, and like I think from Tyler, I do agree with you from the standpoint. It would be nice if Green doesn't only look to just pass, like we're saying,
Yeah.
he's somewhat of a threat, and then you can make it better. Because I've been hard on Green too, because sometimes he is frustrating because you just want him to be more, and he makes
Right.
some dumb passes at times. And I think the
He
other
still
thing with
does Curry.
Tyler, if I must speak for you, Tyler, you get
Curry
really
makes a lot
annoyed.
of dumb passes.
You get annoyed with his talking to the rest. It sounds like a little bit.
Everything about him, his whole personality, in my opinion.
But let me jump to
He's not
Curry
that
real
good
quick.
to have this big personality. He's not
That's true.
Barkley, and he acts
Can I-
like he is.
But he
Go
does
ahead.
that because no one else on the team speaks up. Everyone else is too nice. That's why
That is
Stephen
true.
Curry. That last game, Stephen Curry got that technical. I was
He
very
had a little
proud
Mike
of him for that.
Dunleavy in him when he threw off his
I
shirt.
thought he was gonna throw it into the crowd of 2000 there. I don't know.
That might
I
go down
liked
a
when
little bit
Draymond
further.
would get a rebound, push it up the court, and finish himself. He doesn't do that anymore. He can't. He's not that athletic anymore.
People tear ACLs doing that. Now. They can't do that anymore.
He's just
Hey, let me jump to Curry real quick. He's on absolute fire right now. Me and Tyler talk about maybe not appreciate him enough while he's kind of here and stuff like that. Obviously, we've talked about how important Green is and all those guys as well. But what do you think about just Curry in general and like just this run he was on right now? Like, I mean,
It's
kind of him in general.
it's been unreal. I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost like we just take it for granted now. It's like, Steph is Steph. Steph is gonna be Steph. But this is crazy what he's doing. Like, there is no other player in NBA history
It's
that,
kind of crazy that we get to watch him after all those crappy years, basically.
and he's on the Warriors. I mean, we deserve this.
we had Bimbo Coles and Montego
I mean, we had
Cummings.
Bimbo coming. I mean, the list goes on and on with these losers that we had. So I mean,
Mookie
to have
Blaylock
someone
there for a little bit.
to have
Blaylock?
Curry.
I don't talk shit about Mookie. He might kill me.
I think he's already dead. Just so they know.
Is he? I think he is.
Yeah, he is. So,
The overdose or
Uh,
something. I don't know what happened.
yeah,
but
Curry's averaging 31.2. This should be the first time he led the league in scoring.
I would
his
love
three-
if he led the league scoring. Yeah.
and especially on a team like this year when like there's real nothing like else to, I mean, they're not winning a championship or anything like that,
No.
but it'd be good to see him go on a run like that. Yeah, we just talk about the thing is, like, the way he shoots threes, like, people compare him to Lillard, and Lillard gets on fire like him, and he does take some things different, but I feel like Curry even has a little extra flair that Lillard does in a lot of those.
Absolutely.
Like, doesn't it feel like it a little bit?
Oh, for sure. And I
Yeah.
kind of get annoyed when people are like, oh, Lillard is much better a deep three shooter than Curry. It's like, what the hell are you guys watching?
I mean,
Yeah.
Lillard doesn't get the double. I mean, he does, but like Curry gets even more.
Not like Curry.
Like
The
Lillard.
guy,
Yeah.
he has like 2 or 3 guys on him all the time, and he still finds a way to get a shot off, and it's like a perfect shot. I don't know how he does it.
I
They
think the
basically play
difference
the
is
equivalent of a cornerback right on him defensively.
the
Yeah.
difference is Curry knows how to move without the ball a lot better than Lillard.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
I
But I
mean,
think
Lillard's
that's
a
the
little
biggest
more. Yeah, Lillard's a little more athletic. You know, he can get like to the basket, but I think Curry's athleticism is a little underrated.
It's very underrated. His is in its balance and his like way to get on balance when he looks off balance.
Yeah.
Like it's an amazing
He
thing.
just
that
Yeah,
he
makes
does.
it look
who
easy.
else out there jumps 5 feet and stays on balance to the right and makes a fadeaway 3? That's
Yeah,
retarded.
it's yeah, what he does, he makes it look easy, but it's very, very hard. So
MVP? Does it go to Jokic? Or does it go to Embiid?
I think if the Warriors win maybe like all the rest of the games, then then he has a chance.
If they go 13-0, then yes.
Yeah,
They just
agree.
lost
I
to
was
the
gonna say,
Wizards.
they
I don't
got a
like our
little
chances of that happening.
Not because I think he does deserve the MVP, but that's just not how it works. So
Yeah.
I mean, especially with Curry, he really gets no respect, to be honest. So
It is
it's
a
gonna-
weird thing to him with that. He doesn't
It's
get
weird.
He's
respect.
hated on too much.
I don't get it. He doesn't get foul calls. He doesn't get the respect from the media. Nothing.
I feel
don't
like
know.
he has gotten to the line a little more lately.
He did this year.
Like-
a little bit.
This year, but
Yeah.
in the past, and still sometimes, the calls that Harden or Irving or those guys get compared to Curry is just not even close.
It always pisses me off with the off the ball stuff more with him.
Ah,
Like,
they're
I feel
always
like he gets
grabbing
held
it.
like so much more off the ball. Like I'm like, my gosh, he's getting like just just held. Like they're literally grabbing his arm. Drew Holiday
yeah.
did a podcast with JJ Redick the other day where he literally says that. He goes, "Yeah, we just told him." He's like, "You
Yeah,
can't
just
get
grab
defender,
his
the
arm.
rest don't give you the calls."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's not how it's supposed to work. You sound like Tony from our basketball league out there. We don't want to hear it."
Exactly. That's a foul. That's not basketball. That's not defense. So I mean, but they get away with it, so they do it. But
Hey, let me jump to Wiseman real quick because we kind of texted about him before the draft a little bit. Big lefty. It figures rookie gets hurt, right? 7 feet tall. It just
Yeah,
happens
of
every
course.
year. I mean, other than Tim Duncan, it just feels like every 7-footer on earth gets hurt like within 3 years of basketball.
Yeah.
He looked like he was at times making strides. I thought he kind of regressed a little bit, like usually rookies do, kind of during that rookie wall part. And then he kind of started to show a few little signs again right before he got hurt. I'll let you get first take at him real quick, and then I kind of want to throw out a trade scenario with him involved here to you. But let me get your quick initial thoughts on Wiseman early on.
Yeah, I haven't been very impressed so far with Wiseman. I mean,
Did you want him to take him first of all, or did you want Ball, or is that who?
No, I wanted Wiseman,
Yeah. Okay.
but I thought that he would be a little better than he was, but like I understand he only played 3 games in college or whatever, and then he just went straight to the NBA and all that. But man, these big guys, they take a long time to develop. And my whole thing is, by the time he's good, because I think he'll be good someday, but by the time he's good, everyone's gonna be gone.
Or at least out of their prime, right?
Thompson and Green, yeah, at least out of their prime. Like I think he needs about 3 or 4 years to really.
Yeah, because what is he,
step up the
19 now?
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
super young.
He's
Yeah.
probably going to be like at his best when he's 26, 27. That's 7. So Curry will be 40.
Curry's gone by that time. That's what I'm saying.
He might be in Charlotte playing his last year.
He might be our technical free throw shooter still at that point. Even that point. Yeah, that's the thing with Wiseman. So let's go right to the trade then. So, I mean, Tyler and I kind of want them to make the trade, but I think you said you listened to maybe the podcast the other day where we threw out. I don't see any superstars. Like they trade Wiseman and this year's first round pick if the Timberwolves fall out of that top 3, which still a big if. Who are they getting? Beal at best, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like what is their route? That's the problem. Is unless somebody becomes available that I'm not seeing. It's Beal, or you got to maybe like take a risk on like a Siakam or something like that. What do you think they need to do with that trade?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Beal. I mean, Beal is really good, a good scorer, but like we need somebody that's like a better
Davis, right?
like a wing, like someone that's big that can score inside, outside. Like a good example would be no man, Wiggins.
He's big. He can score inside and outside. He's just not hitting it.
He's a bum. Wiggins. No, my example would be like a Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, one of those guys from the Celtics. Obviously, they're not available. It's not going to happen, but I don't know.
Oh, you mean a Kevin Durant who Draymond Green chased out of town?
Oh God!
Here he goes again with Draymond Green.
Another personal vendetta.
I heard the last podcast you put Durant in your top 5 of all-time Warriors. I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's the greatest Warrior of all time. If you just
but he wasn't on the team.
We're going to get to that topic on the top best Warriors. Okay. I have a question for Adam on that after our little pause here. Let me get one last one here, then we'll take a break, and then we'll get back here. If Clay comes back, as things back to normal a little bit, like is he the ingredient? But like we said, let's just pretend Wiseman's on the team. Let's just say he's on the team. If Clay comes back, they probably make a few more transactions a little differently. Let's hope. I don't know what the hell's happened to Eric Pascal. He fell off the face of the earth this year. I don't know. I mean, what the heck has happened to this guy? He was supposed to be like
he must be in the doghouse or something. I don't know I'm not sure what he did.
He never plays. I kind of like Poole for his Crawford ability at times, but he still takes some shots where I'm like, you're not Steph Curry. Relax. He's
a black hole a little bit. Yeah,
he's a little bit of a black hole for sure. But you need those once in a while out of team like that. So, anyways, if Clay comes back, are they back to normal a little bit? Let's just say he's healthy.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be right back in title contention with Klay Thompson. Yeah, because like Klay Thompson does not play based off his athleticism. You know, he's a shooter. He took 3 dribbles and scored 60 points one game. But I mean, or whatever it was, 7
in 3 quarters.
Yeah,
3 quarters. So I mean, I think he'll be fine. And I don't know how he's going to be defensively anymore, but he should be okay. I mean, I don't know.
That's a big question though for me. Can he guard the point guard still? Can he guard the point guard still the first year back? Maybe not. You know what I mean? We'll see. No. That's going to be the big if.
I don't know. I mean, I have a little bit of experience with these Achilles injuries, so I mean, it's.
That's right, you do. And then he got another one, right? A knee now, right?
His knee, yeah. So it's tough, but so I don't know. But
he's obviously getting the top training in the world, obviously as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I know I didn't get that. So and I was still able to return to our adult league, and
we've won championships there. We won championships there against pretty tough competition, if you ask me, as well. So
yeah.
All right,
All right, let's stop sucking each other off and get to the Warriors.
We got to revisit those once in a while. Those are big moments. All right, so Clay comes back. I'm kind of with you a little bit. I think they kind of return a little bit more normal. It's especially if right now the way the Western Conference is set up. You know, the Suns are good and the Jazz are good, but they're not like. I mean, they're not dominant. And the Lakers and Clippers, you just don't know what's going to happen with Kawhi and LeBron and Davis still. So I think I'm with you guys. There's a run there. Hey, let's take a break just real quick. We'll come back with some old Warriors questions here in a second. All right, we're back. All right, me and Adam used to go to a ton of Warriors together. We used to at least get to a couple a year. We go to this like little Ticketmaster place, and for some reason they used to sell them in that old CD shop, Radio Shack, and we go. Tickets and the Warriors were horrible. They'd have like Oscar Torres on their team and some other guys, and we go watch them play over there, and they'd lose. Or we'd always try to pick a game that we could. That
we felt like they could win.
Like what was the one we did when the Pacers got all their guys ejected? We went to the next game. Because we knew they would.
Hey, we got to see Reggie Miller in his last year, though.
That is true. That was a nice little moment there. Hey, so with that being said, I got some like kind of Warriors just history questions here that I thought that'll be fun for some of the people here on the podcast to listen to. Who is your favorite Warrior of all time to start out with? Just kind of quick hitter. Who's your favorite guy of all time? Wow. I got Curry, but give me another one maybe too.
I mean,
PJ Carlesimo.
You can't.
It doesn't have to be best player either. Just be like your favorite player.
I love Jason Richardson.
Yeah, that's our
Good
era.
choice.
That's our era for sure. The dunk contests were a big deal back then. Throwing
It
the ball
was.
off loser's head in the rookie sophomore
I
challenge.
love that. That's all we had. I mean, that's literally
That's
all
like-
we had.
That's
Remember
what
that
we
when
were
it was the next
celebrating.
day, we were
back
like,
then.
we love
Yeah.
that he threw off his
We're like,
head.
yes, All-Star Weekend. I was like, this guy's the next Jordan, Jay Rich. You know, it's
We
like
got one headline on First Take or PTI.
Yeah, you know. So so I used to love Jay Rich, and
Yeah. So he's your guy though, for sure.
that was my guy. Yeah,
Who's the most random warrior you like?
most random warrior I
Like
like.
random guy they maybe like have. You're like, I kind of like that guy over the years. He was kind of somebody I was like.
I can't remember his name, but he lifted up George Marison or who was it, or Sean Bradley, and tossed him to the ground. It was I forget. Man, I can't remember it. What was his name? Had huge muscles. I can't remember his name, but he was
Mike Jackson or Mark Jackson or
no,
that guy.
no, man. What was
Not
that
the
guy?
announcer.
No,
big
I
guy.
know.
That's
I know,
funny.
but I can't remember his name. But he was really random. But we've had so many random players that were some were
Bobby
good
Sura?
and some were pathetic.
Bob Sura?
That's a little set shot of his.
With the
Bob
bleached
Sura.
hair.
What about,
I remember the janitor. He was one. That was a random guy that we had there.
Brian
one was
Cardinal.
that?
Brian Cardinal. Brian Cardinal.
Oh yeah,
Or the custodian or whatever he was called over there.
he got a big contract.
He
Yeah,
did
from
somehow
Memphis.
get a big contract from
Or
playing.
Vancouver.
You know, Donald Foyle.
Hey,
got
our
a big
listeners in
Oh,
Memphis.
Donald
what do you think of Brian
Foyle. That's
Cardinal?
the guy. That's a random one.
Can't forget the guy. He had led the league in blocks in college. So what a great pickup. That was.
Colgate. I remember when they
Colgate.
signed Donald Foyle for like $10 million a year. I was like, this is the worst signing in the world. Daren was like, no, this is a good sign. You need a big guy. I was like, not O'Donnell.
Yeah, but not O'Donnell. He was just good for being dunked on by Amari Stoudemire.
We were trying to be optimistic back then. Yeah, that was
We were. We really didn't have much.
What game do you remember going to, or what's your like kind of game you remember going to the most?
The one we went to against the Magic when Gilbert Arenas threw a bounce pass off the ground for an alley-oop to Jay Rich.
Jay Rich, that's a good one. I kind of like the one we went to also with the Suns.
Petrus.
When they had Baron Davis there.
Oh, yeah.
And they just traded for him, and they won like 136 to like 130 or something like that.
With
It was
NASA?
insane.
Oh,
It
and
was-
remember Stoudemire like just gave it to Foyle on one of the dunks there.
Oh, my God. He destroyed him twice.
He like just crushed him on that one.
2 times he embarrassed him.
We were like, I think that's the best dunk we've ever seen live. I think that's still, I think, the best dunk I've seen live. No
For
doubt
sure.
about it. I
For
mean,
sure.
Foyle just ate that one. All right, favorite Warrior memory.
Winning the championship.
Yeah, that's the one. Favorite bad Warrior memory.
Drafting Mike Dunleavy. 3rd overall.
That's a
I mean,
good
you
one.
got to
Like,
be kidding me. That's all we can come up with. I was saying the whole time, just anybody but Dunleavy. And there it is.
take Caron Butler at least or something.
Yeah, somebody. I mean, come on, man. Just because he went to Duke, come on.
That's funny. Yeah, there was some, and then
But there's so many moments.
they had so many bad teams. It's not
That's
even. It's not even
It's
funny.
they were pathetic for years and years. I mean,
I mean,
it was
Brian
hard.
Shaw started at point guard for him for a few years. Over
Brian
there.
Shaw. I mean, we had Clifford Robinson was like our best 3-point shooter. I mean,
Oh,
we
who
had-
was the guy they would go to in the post? And Bob would get so excited in
that old man. Yeah, what was his name?
the old days. Terry Cummings. Is that-
Terry Cummings. Like, yes, Terry Cummings does it again. I'm
With
like,
Chris Mills,
give me a break, Bob. Yeah, Chris.
Oh, and the
Mills.
other guy.
John Starks.
He'd always get excited because he averaged 10 points and 10 rebounds. Gosh, what was his name? And then they signed him to a big deal. It was like Foster or something like that. What was he was like a
Oh,
post.
yeah,
Troy
yeah.
Murphy?
What's his name?
No. It was pre-Troy. He was like a big
No.
like cut. Remember him, Adam? He was a right.
I know who you're talking about. I forget his name, but yeah, they made the biggest deal about that guy. I'm like, this
Man,
guy.
him and Dampier, and you know what? If you combine Dampier and Foyle stats, they average 9 points and 6 rebounds. You got a starting center. I remember
So
Bob-
pathetic. I mean, just embarrassing. It's just,
if
you know,
stats, you have a starting
that's just-
center.
that's our starting center. I mean, it's just, I'm speechless about that. I mean, it's just, look, man, we went through a lot to get where we're at with those 3 championships and where we're at now. But
That's so fun. It's so true. It's so true. So yeah, those memories were good stuff there. Hey, what team? Let's switch to this year a little bit. What team are you like watching this year other than the Warriors? Is there any team you checking out?
No, not really.
No,
I
just the
just stick with
Warriors.
the Warriors, man. Come on. I'm not
I kind of
like
watched the Nuggets a little bit. I like Jokic's game a little bit, so I gotta check them out a little bit once in a while.
his
As well.
game. I mean, he looks like he would be awful, but somehow like all those jumpers he made the other day against the Warriors, I was like, you got to be kidding me.
So
I was
like
like,
right-footed jumpers.
yeah, he's like this one-footed, like slow motion jumpers, but hey man, he gets it done. He's a great passer for a big man. So yeah, he's really good. Yeah, the Nuggets are pretty good, but I don't think they're championship material, especially with their injuries now. Obviously, that's gonna.
So who do you like in the finals then? Nets and somebody else? Nets and Lakers?
If the Nets are healthy, I don't think anybody can beat them in the East.
Well, it looks like Harden's hamstring looks a little bit banged up there. So
yeah,
we'll
those
see
are hard
how
to
things
figure
make
out.
interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, if they still have Durant and Irving, and it's gonna be hard.
What was it? Tyler Durant comes back and he's like 7 for 7 for like 17 points and like 20
Yeah, he's
minutes.
just automatic. He's like a
There's
machine.
5 for 5 with like.
It's like that's pretty efficient. Pretty efficient there.
Yeah, I would say so. Because
Go ahead.
but I think, and then the West, yeah, I think it's gonna be Lakers or Clippers. Yeah.
All right, a couple more questions here, and then you're going to join us here for the little NFL segment here with the big man, Baby Shef.
Oh, yeah,
here in a
I'm
few
ready. I'm
minutes.
ready for that.
I love these type of questions. Tyler likes to join on these too. What's one of your favorite players of all time to watch? Is it Allen Iverson? Is it the drawing that Tyler made there? Is it AI there with the logo on there? Tyler, let's see the logo there one more time.
Allen Iverson was my guy.
But it was the headband. I don't remember the shirt. I remember the headband.
I got the headband.
There we go.
I have the headband. I had lots of headbands. The shirt. I had his shoes.
Is he your favorite player then?
He was, yeah, at the time. I, because it was just something different. Because at that time, in that era, it was mostly about big guys and centers and all that. So Iverson was really the first little guy to kind of dominate and lead the league in scoring. And
the Warriors had bad teams, so it was easy to
and we had bad teams. We had to watch somebody, and I just enjoyed his attitude and his like he had a horrible attitude, but it was funny. Like it was entertaining to me. And so I just liked all of it. And I had someone call me Iverson at 24 Hour Fitness one time, so that was nice.
That's a compliment right there.
Much nicer than Mo Pete from Daren.
Yeah, I mean, I would mostly get Ginobili's a lot, but
the lefty, that makes sense.
Yeah,
as well. Adam had hang type people out there from the future. He did everything. Hey, so what would be the team then you like to watch it? So it can't be the Sixers. That team was awful to watch. Please tell me what that.
No.
I liked watching like the Hornets randomly with like Jamal Mashburn back then because the Warriors were so bad. Did you have like a random team you liked watching?
I like the Spurs. Yeah,
the Spurs. Yeah, they still are at least more entertaining when they got Duncan, especially.
Did you like the Spurs just because they could beat the Lakers and you wanted to rub it in Brian's face?
A little bit.
Was that the main reason for the Spurs? Just to get it Brian?
I mean, we would hear all about the damn Lakers all day long for Brian, and so
a lot of people probably.
That's something to do with it. But that's true.
All right, last one here. Favorite uniform of all time. Favorite team uniform of all time. Yeah.
God, man, like I love the Warriors. The Bay ones with the cable car.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Do you have another team that you randomly like as well? I like the Hornets for some reason. Their other one their little striped one.
I like the blue pinstripe ones.
What's the one you like too? You said is it the Bucks old ones?
I like the bold black ones with the stripes.
Yeah, I like those ones. I actually had and speaking of the Hornets, I had a Hornets starter jacket, one of those big puffy ones. When I was in elementary school.
Oh, that's pretty nice. I like that. Larry Johnson era. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Then, of course,
that's
the favorite one.
Warrior, Muggsy Bogues.
Oh, I forgot about Muggsy.
Muggsy, well, yeah, that was a good Warrior one. The random one. John Starks, Chris Mills. That's one of the worst errands of all time for sure. Last one. And one of the things we randomly talk about the most when we're just kind of hanging out is announcers and how bad they are and what they say and what we like and not say. And we talked about Bob Fitzgerald that we could go on all day, but we won't do that to you guys. What's your favorite announcer of all time? I'm gonna guess it's the same as Casey and Tyler, but what's the one that you like the most? And is there one out there that annoys you by any chance?
Well, Bob Fitzgerald annoys me, and but his old partner, Jim Barnett. I love Jim Barnett.
Yes, he is the man of many sayings.
I miss that guy.
He's good.
Offensive team always gets the air ball.
Offensive team, yeah.
Never shoot a layup, center on. If you don't get the use of the backboard, you always remember he'd always get mad at the terrible.
He would get furious if you don't use that backboard. But I always enjoyed his little comments. But and then
how about Gus? I thought you were a big Gus guy.
Well, I was just about to get to that. I was going to say for college basketball for the March Madness, you cannot beat Gus and what's his name, Onions.
Yeah,
Onions.
Onions, different guy. Yeah,
Rafferty.
Rafferty, yes.
That's true.
Is that who it is? Rafferty?
Rafferty,
Yeah,
is that what it is?
I think it is Rafferty. I think it is Rafferty. All right, well, that's our NBA there. Thanks to Adam for joining us for that part. But hang on there. We're going to get Brian on here in just a second. So, folks, we'll be back with our final
These guys
mock
are like
draft.
cats and dogs. You don't want to miss
Shef.
this one.
And let's hopefully we'll have you on like maybe around the playoff time here too to at least discuss the Warriors maybe before their playing game as well. So, all right, hold on there. We'll be back with Brian Johnson, everybody here in a second. All right, we're back. Final segment here on the Fatboy FadeAway Sports. Maybe the best segment here. We got the. I don't know, Tyler. Have we ever had the quad box here on Fatboy?
I don't know. It's a full panel.
We got a full panel here. Too bad we couldn't put a fifth one up for your drawing of Adam. That's disappointing, but we'll make it with 4 here to go to make it through. Brian Johnson joins us, baby Shef, as you know, been on the podcast here a few times, brings the NFL knowledge, brings the passion, brings the love, brings the desire. And I know he's fired up for the draft this Thursday. Look at that face, everybody. We are ready to go. NFL time. Brian, let's get right into it here. Let's get the party started. We already know the first 2 picks. We know it's going Sunshine, and then whoever you call that Wilson guy. Who do you call him, Tyler?
Jimmy Clausen.
Jimmy Clausen going number 2. Who do you got at? Who do you got 3 for the Niners? What's the pick?
I have to just stick with Field. He's been my guy since day one, so I gotta say
it's
that's
not Mac Jones. They're sticking with you. You texted me that you were worried that Fields had, what do you say, epilepsy, and that his stock in the draft might go down. Are you still pretty confident he's going to be the 3rd overall pick?
Well, I found out a lot of players actually deal with it and handle it. So as long as he's on his medication, I think he's going to be good.
I'm not a doctor here, but what's epilepsy?
It's like a brain condition where you can get seizures.
What is it, Brian?
It's like a brain condition where you could possibly get seizures.
Okay, well, I can
Okay,
tell you right now that takes Fields out of the running to the Patriots. Belichick does not take players with brain conditions.
So,
i.e. Aaron Hernandez.
Brian, we got Adam on the show here too. We're hearing if let's say Fields does go to the Niners at 3, does that mean your boy Mac Jones? Does that mean the Patriots trade up with the Lions or the Panthers at 7 or 8 to get Mac Jones? Because that's what you said last week. Are you still pretty confident that's going to happen again?
I'm if he doesn't go to the Broncos, if the Broncos take Lance, I could actually see Mac Jones dropping to where the Patriots are. So
they wouldn't have to trade up, you think?
Yeah.
All right, Brian, let me ask you this question, Brian. Now, did you happen to see Mac Jones's pro day? Did you see Bill Belichick's reaction to Mac Jones' deep ball passing?
No, I did not.
He shook his head like this and pretty much said, "This guy is absolutely pathetic and will never be a New England Patriot."
That's a smoke screen. It's a smoke screen, no?
Let's listen. I do not want Mac Jones.
So you want to go into the year with Cam Newton?
No, but that's what
do we suggest we do here, Mr. Patriots lover? What do we do here? If we're not getting Mac Jones, what do we do? Who's the guy? Mac Jones reminds me of the guy you guys took from Arkansas like 5 years ago, like in the 4th round. What's his
Ryan
name?
Mallett?
Yeah, that's who he reminds me of.
And we have Stidham, who is pretty much the same thing, and he's
a tall piece of trash.
He's very bad. So I mean, Why
What
would
do
we
you
get
think-
another guy like that? So we're not going to take Mac Jones. If they take a quarterback in the first round, which I really don't think they're going to do, but if they do, I think they're going to try to get Lance.
That's who they're going to get is Lance there. Yeah, Lance seems to be the guy that I could see like rising the most. Just like,
I know.
like how there's always those quarterbacks, like what's the guy from like Minnesota that got drafted, like Ponder, like, came up like all these spots early. I think Lance has more hype to him and stuff, but I could see a team like trading into 4 at the Falcons or something to get him. Don't you think, Brian, maybe, or something like that?
Yeah, I think he's kind of on the rise right now, like on people's big boards.
The Falcons are in the best spot if I was the NFL. If I was the GM of the Falcons, that would be the team I would be ready to do, because they can either take a quarterback that's left. They can either take, apparently, I know Tyler's not a big fan of tight ends, but apparently he's like a generational tight end, or they trade out and get a lot of picks. So I don't know. The Falcons, to me, they're to me the interesting team in this draft outside the Niners, but it sounds like the Niners are starting to settle more on Fields a little bit. So I don't know. What do you guys think the Falcons do? Why don't we start with you, Tyler, real quick? You think they end up with the tight end real quick?
Yeah, I think they're going to take that.
Tight end there. What do you think there, Adam?
It's hard for me to believe that they're going to take a tight end with the 4th overall pick. So I think they'll take a quarterback.
So you're in the same boat there as Tyler. That's just too low. That's just too low for a tight end there.
It is, because he looks the part. He looks like he's going to be a very good tight end, but 4th overall.
He looks too little to me to be a tight end.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it did a little bit low there. I keep hearing this might be the rumor that works, Brian, is the Cowboys trade up to 4 to draft him.
Oh, God.
That wouldn't surprise
That wouldn't surprise me. The Cowboys make the dumbest picks in the world. So
that would not get me at all. Hey, Brian. So let's get into the other thing I was kind of interested to trade was the at the Chiefs. They trade. What was the trade at actually? And is Brown he's the left tackle, or is he the right tackle for the Ravens?
I think he played right tackle last year, but he's going to
That's
move
what I
to
thought
left.
he did. Is this a good? I mean, we all saw the Super Bowl. Tyler showed a graph of Mahomes like running around like basically 35 miles, and Brady ran 5 meters.
yeah,
They trade for the offensive lineman, but they trade a lot of picks for him. You got to do it, right? If you're the Chiefs, I mean, you have Patrick Mahomes. You just trade whatever you can to protect him at the same time, right, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was their off-season need, was offensive line. So they got that guy from the Patriots, and now they got they got the guy from the Ravens. So that's what they.
Where the hell
needed.
did the Chiefs get all this money?
that's what I want to
How
know.
does that work in the NFL? How do these good teams pull that crap off?
It's like they ship money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're able to do it, but
It seems like they have like 10 guys that make max money, right? Adam?
It seems that way, but I don't know. That's a good trade for the Chiefs and pretty bad for the Ravens.
They get all these picks. I got to get to my team real quick, the Raiders. I know you guys could care less about it, but the Viva Las Vegas Raiders over here. I rip on John Gruden a lot last year. I was pretty hard on him. It was like really
Chucky.
hard on him, actually. This is like his 6th year on like a 10-year deal. My question is, and they're predicted the over-under is 7. I'm like, are you kidding me? In your 6th year in the NFL, you haven't made the playoffs with the team yet. And the Vegas predicted you to win 7 wins still. This is asinine. Would Mark Davis A have the balls to fire him, and B, can the Raiders actually do anything? Like, are they done? Like, Brian, what do they do? Help me on draft day. They got to do something. They're a mess.
I mean, I would think they would pick up a receiver because that's what they need.
Again?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that feels like kind of a Raiders pick. No.
They need a quarterback.
They stuck. And a quarterback, thank you. But we still have people, Mayock, coming out and saying, you know what, Derek Carr is our quarterback. He's one of our best. It's like he basically went T.O. He's just like, he's our quarterback. We got him. He's our quarterback. That's my quarterback.
Did he cry?
I'm just frustrated with the Raiders. That's why the NFL's like, I mean, Adam, it's easy for you to be an NFL team. Your team has won like 180 games over the last 20 years.
It wasn't easy last season.
Oh, you'll give me a break. I want you to go through 20 more years.
Very depressing.
You had a great week 1.
I know. And we almost beat Seattle week 2. Then Newton ended up getting COVID, and he just
No,
It wasn't the
Defense
same.
throw a
So-
ball within 10 yards of somebody at that.
And then it went really bad against Buffalo the last game.
Hey, whoa, well, we had given up at that point. But we should have beat Buffalo earlier in the year if Newton didn't fumble on the 15-yard line. But
That's true. You could have had a little bit more there.
like honestly, they could have had a winning record. And we have Tyler. Let me just get to this real fast because Tyler on the podcast mentioned the over/under of the Patriots, and I think I heard him say that the
5.5.
Patriots might win 5 games.
Might, maybe.
There's no maybe. You said 5. I heard
Yeah, they might win 5. They're lucky to get the 5.
you are out of your mind.
Like
good.
what
They have
You
no
do
call
you
focus.
guys
Tom more
have?
important than Bill Belichick.
What do you have?
What do we have? We
What do
had
you-
okay. First of all, let me go back to last season. We had absolutely nothing last year. And they still-
nothing's changed.
You lost
Uh,
Tootie,
Yes,
Big Tuna.
but we got what's his name back from the Raiders? What's his name? Trent Brown?
Nelson Aguilar.
Nelson. We got your boy Kendrick Bourne.
These are bums.
Yeah, I know.
But,
you
yeah,
you
but
still don't
do you
have
know
to
who?
wait that
Can you
great.
guys even name the receivers for the Patriots last year? Name me a
Tell
receiver.
Harry, some
Yeah,
rookie Sanders guy or Smith.
Olowski.
All I
That
can name
white
is
guy's
probably
terrible. He shouldn't be in
Edelman.
NFL.
You
We
guys have
had
had
Jacoby,
receivers
we
for
had-
like 5 years, though, it feels like, other than like Edelman.
Yeah, I mean that's the only guy I can name from last year.
We had Jacoby Myers, Gunnar
Yeah, that's a guy.
Olowski,
Jacoby Myers.
and we literally had no tight ends.
Now you have like
I
2,
think
right?
You
we need
drafted
that-
2.
We need
Now-
that do your
yeah, but
job at Adam.
They're
Come
terrible.
What, Brian?
No, Brian, we're still here.
on. We need that do your job at Adam. Come
We
on.
need
You gotta
that. We
wear
need
it.
that.
All right, Brian, I'll put that hat on if you give me your Cincinnati Bengals jacket that you had there. You still have that?
Still in my parents' the room with that I used to live in.
I
my
don't want to hear
parents' house.
excuses.
And he'll throw in the Tim Couch jersey for you too that he has. Just to make
Yeah.
it, just to make it nicer on that one. There. So the last part I kind of had with the draft too is it seems like the draft every year. It seems like it gets like, I don't know, more unnecessary hype year in and year out. Like it becomes this
Yeah.
big event. Like they do the first round on Thursday. They do the second round or second and third round the next day, and they do the next on the next day. And I always get a kick out of this about the draft. They get drafted in the first round. They come up on stage. They hug the commissioner, and then they hate the commissioner like for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about it that just like it seems so fake to me. I know it's a big moment and stuff, but to me, the draft, I know it's a big deal, Brian. I know you love it. It's much better now set up, I agree, than the old days where it'd be on for like 38 straight hours or something like that. But I don't know. I just got
15 minutes a pick. I was like, give me
Oh,
a
man.
break.
That's brutal.
That's
I mean,
insane.
anything's gonna be better than the COVID draft where they had the fans at home and
No, the
You
best part was seeing Bill Belichick with his dogs looking like a boss in a big ass room. I love that about Belichick. Like that is
Oh,
the
yeah.
coolest setup I've
That's
ever
how
seen.
much
He has
effort
these
he put
big ass
into his
dogs
pick.
like on the side of him.
I'm actually pretty sure the dog actually did make the picks.
That's the reason you don't have any receivers.
Yeah.
he went to people with a big man. That's right what happened there. So yeah, that was, I also love part of the draft too that I find interesting too is like I used to hate it how they used to like you do the draft and then they'd tell you who was being picked before the actual
Oh
selection.
yeah, that was annoying.
Like, oh, that's exciting. Thanks for telling us that they're all going to get picked. Oh, the Lions are up with the 4th pick. Let's go to Adam Schefter here with 3 minutes left in the draft before they pick. Yeah, I'm hearing they're taking this guy over here. And then they show the video and he's already like crying and stuff like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is the point of this? So they've kind of done a better job to make it a show and stuff like that, which I do like a little bit more. That's the reason Johnny Manziel got drafted in the first round a few years ago. I think it's because it was a
And
show and all
Tebow.
this.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Tebow for sure. You got Skip Bayless got Skip Bayless a lot of money, Tim Tebow. So he's given there that region there for sure. Brian, anything else on the draft or NFL that we should be looking forward to headed up, going our way? I know a few trades may be coming up. Mac Jones to me is the interesting one in Fields. That's the one. You got any other?
Please take
storylines
Trey
you're looking forward to?
Lance. Please.
I mean anybody besides Mac Jones, in my opinion.
I'm gonna tell you-
Tyler, you still enjoy the way he's saying Mac Jones as well.
It was classic. I think the Patriots are going to end up taking the Stanford quarterback in the second round or trade up in the end of the first.
I've heard of that guy, and I guess they're really high on the quarterback from Florida, Trask.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too.
What team are you expecting you guys to take a big leap next year, regardless of draft? Like, is it the Browns again? Like, what team are we expecting to kind of like take is the Eagles? I kind of like the Eagles' chances with Fields as well. I know they were, and I always like teams that have a crappy year and then sometimes bounce back. So I'm kind of I'm going to jump on the Eagles bandwagon, even though I'm not really happy with the way they ran sometimes. But who do you guys like? Let's start with you, Adam.
I like the Patriots.
Oh, shut up. I should have started.
Actually, okay. Honestly, I think the Cardinals are going to be a lot better.
I was hoping Kyler Murray would be batted leadoff next year for the A's, but I guess we'll.
A's, I don't want to hear about the A's right now, and they're trying to win 21 games in a row and beat their streak.
It's always good to have you on around the A's and winning streaks as well. We should get a little bit too. Brian, who do you like? What do you like as a surprise, or like a team got a team next year having a good year?
I would probably say the team that might surprise me would be the Dolphins. I think they might.
But who's their quarterback?
That answer makes me sick, Brian.
I think Tua is going to be decent next year.
Did you see him play last year? He was garbage. What was special about him?
I'm just saying that he could take the next step. I mean,
Brian, is this because you're going to Miami? Is this why you picked the Dolphins?
I think it is. That's a good answer, Adam. That's good research right here right there.
You let those Dolphins fans know to take their stupid Dolphins and shove them right up their candy asses.
I mean, you're going with the Cardinals, man. In my mind,
I can respect that.
They're overrated.
How are they overrated? Who's overrating them?
I'm just saying, like, I'm not sold on Kyler Murray.
But
I'm not sold on the Cardinals coach. That's the only reason I don't like the Cardinals. Their coach sucks.
He is such a prick, that guy. But
that game against the Niners at the end of the season was the worst coach game I ever saw in my life. That was like pathetic. Me and Tyler did like a whole 5 minutes on that guy.
He has no business coaching in the NFL to begin with. But
that's good. Brian, by the way, before we get out of here, is that a Saved by the Bell t-shirt?
Should I say the Browns? I mean,
the Browns.
The Browns to me are the most overrated team in the NFL.
I would agree.
How's that?
Well, they got a pretty good roster this year, though.
How's that? They got the best pass rusher in the league, and
yeah,
their defense is on up.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Browns on. I think the Browns are gonna be pretty solid next year. I gotta give them one more year, at least solid. Fall off at that point there. All right, so Brian, we're thinking about maybe doing an NFL live stream draft Thursday. Hopefully you can join us. Adam, maybe if you'd want to do the same. We might do one for the Niners pick there, at least. Tyler, maybe calling in from Mary's. That'd be nice as well if we had something like that going on. I'll be calling in maybe from somewhere else as well, but it'd be fun just to do a little pick on the draft there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Guys, thanks for joining the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast. It's fun having you on for the first time.
That was fun.
The quad look here. We'll have to do it around playoff time.
That's a good time.
That's a superhero Adam, as he likes to say it there. So I hope you guys enjoy a little longer podcast today, but it's a good one. So we'll break it up into 3 segments like we usually do. So thanks, guys, for joining us, and hopefully we can have you on in a couple weeks here. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Later.
All right, guys.
See ya.
All right, later.